Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. I, 26 female, lost my job during the pandemic, so I decided to start a small home-based cake business as a source of income in the meantime. Certain video-based social media was very popular then, so I created my own account to post cake-related video content. My account gained massive followers, but I only earned a little commission from it because most of my followers were from other places far away from my location. My relatives learned about my business online, and seeing the huge followers on my account, they assumed my business was doing great. Since then, whenever someone from my relatives would celebrate a birthday, they just casually ask me if I could make them a cake for free. Initially, I was hesitant because I wasn't that confident with my work, and I was scared to be judged, knowing how judgmental some of them were, and the ingredients to make a cake wasn't cheap to just give away for free. But I eventually agreed because I didn't know how to say no. I just asked them for a favor to help me share and promote my business to their friends and family in return, which they never did. Over the months of making a free cake for all of my relatives for free, for some reason, they would just automatically expect a free cake on their birthdays from me. So I was kind of obliged to remember all their birthdays and make a cake for each of them to avoid any issues. And that went on for the entire year. On the first anniversary of my business, the orders were getting less and less each day, so I decided to focus on managing my business finances and inventory seriously and marketing my products to people around my location instead of just creating video content to post on social media. I was on the verge of bankruptcy at the time. I could no longer give away free cake, therefore, I informed my cousin, who would celebrate her 24th birthday in 3 weeks. Instead, I offered to make one at a discounted price, to which she agreed immediately. We agreed upon a design and a budget, though I didn't ask her for a deposit like usual because she's family. I baked and decorated the cake the night before her birthday and sent her a picture of the cake right away. And I was proud and happy with how it turned out. I waited for her reply for almost 10 minutes, but she just left me on read. I was too tired that day and just wanted to sleep, so I didn't wait for her reply that night. But the morning after, I woke up bombarded with messages from her telling me the cake was subpar, and it was not what I promised to make for her, but I didn't see any difference from the design we both agreed on. My mind was still not functioning completely from sleepiness and tiredness, so I couldn't think of anything else to do. I offered to make partial changes if she wasn't happy with the design and such, but she refused. She started accusing me of ruining her birthday party because she was embarrassed to show the cake I made to everyone. She then told me to buy her a bottle of expensive champagne instead to compensate for my poor professionalism. I immediately said no, because why would I do that? I already baked her the cake she wanted without even a deposit from her beforehand. She wasn't happy with my response and even threatened me that she wouldn't pay for the lousy cake I made if I didn't get her what she wanted. I was getting irritated and said she better pay up or there would be hell to pay. Then I got a call from my aunt, her mom, and she basically called me an a-hole for ruining her daughter's day. Am I the a-hole for ruining my cousin's birthday? Update. The night after her birthday celebration, my social account got suspended. I knew it was probably my cousin's doing, but I instead took that time off to take a break from everything. My aunt never reached out to me after that, and I heard my mom and grandma reamed her and my cousin at the party for trying to scam me. After a month, my old company contacted me. They offered me a position higher than my previous job there before. I was happier with my corporate job anyway, so I quit baking and now I'm working my 9 to 5 again. But I'm thinking of getting back into baking as a side business. You're not the a-hole, OP. Your cousin took advantage of you. You're right to not want to give in to her insane demand. If anything, she owes you for the fee you both agreed on when you made her the cake. Her mom is an a-hole and so is she. Your family kinda sucks too. They should have supported your small business. Instead, they took from you until you didn't have much anymore. I'm glad you've gotten your job back. If you do go back to baking, do not bake for anyone for free, not even family. Story 2. When my wife was 20, she had a son, Brandon, for the sake of this post. It was just the two of them for a long time until I met my wife in 2016. Things moved quickly in our relationship, and by 2017, we had moved in together and she was pregnant. My wife comes from a big family, one of 5 kids, and had always wanted at least 4 kids. So she was eager to get started on adding to our family since by this point she was 34 going on 35. Our first child together was born in early 2018. We waited for almost a year and then my wife got pregnant again. Our second child together was born last fall. That was when it seemed like the change started happening. I realized she was dealing with life as a mom to 2 small kids and a teen, but she seemed to pour all of herself into our 2 little ones and had nothing left for Brandon. What made it strange is that when I would offer to take the younger kids so they could have some one-on-one time, she always declined and made up some reason why she couldn't. Brandon would ask to do things with her and he was always told no. It was like her mindset changed and her focus was on being a mom of 2 and he was just forgotten by her. I don't fully know how to rationalize or explain it. It almost felt like my wife was trying to create a do-over family with just us and our 2 kids. Before she got pregnant with our 3rd child together, I brought my concerns up to her. But she said she was just tired and knew she needed to make more of an effort. She promised to do better and make more of an effort with him. And she did for a while, but has now gone back to ignoring him. I've tried my best to make up for what he doesn't get from his mom these days, but it's not really the same. I've talked with Brandon and he feels hurt, excluded, and like she's abandoned him. I feel awful for the role I've played in all of this, and regret agreeing to have 3 kids with my wife, given how she has started treating him. I have not gone through what Brandon has, but I have dealt with having a mother that abandoned me. This is why I don't know if I'm the a-hole. That and because of the guilt I feel. They may be clouding my judgment and causing me to be too harsh on my wife. When I talked about her about the situation, I mentioned what I'd listed in my title and said I was disgusted by how she was treating her son, which had me start questioning exactly what type of person she is if she can do this to her own child. She pushed back pretty hard and told me that I had no right to criticize her parenting and that I had no idea what their relationship was like because of what they had gone through together. I asked her if she even knew what it was like, since she never really talks to him. She kind of lost it there, so I just walked away. I don't know if I did the right thing. I feel like I needed to say something. But the only thing I feel I've achieved is upsetting my wife. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, OP. The best thing you could have done was bring this up to her. And honestly, you were spot on with her replacing Brandon with 3 new kids and husband and putting together that family she always wanted. It's terribly sad because not only is she neglecting him, but she's showing him how unimportant he is to her and a new family image. He doesn't deserve to be thrown to the side by her. My fear for him is a new resentment for not just his mother, but his siblings as well. Keep connecting with him yourself. Maybe do your own bonding activities. Let him know you see him, he's still important and he's loved. He needs at least one parent to step up here. Now for some comments. This is beyond am I the a-hole scope. Y'all need counseling. It sounds like you're as good a stepdad as Brandon could hope for though. So I hope you will continue to stick up for him and do things together. I know you say it's not the same and it isn't, but having a healthy father-son bond is no small thing for a young man and it sure helps. I'm going with not the a-hole. She replaced Brandon with the 3 new children and is now neglecting him. It's incredibly sad. Support Brandon, bond, do activities together. Make him feel loved and supported. Look into therapy for him. He will be feeling abandoned and may need extra support. You did the right thing by raising this with your wife. If she is unwilling to parent him, then it might be time for family therapy. Not the a-hole. As hard as it is for her to hear, it had to come from someone. And it's great that you're being an advocate for him when it's obviously hard for him to do it himself. You're not exactly a stranger who has no real idea of what's happening. You're on the inside and know exactly how things have been for him. Hopefully after the anger subsides, she will take it on board and give him the attention he needs, and so obviously wants from her. Story 3. My wife and I, 24 male, just moved into our new apartment. It was a fresh new start for us after some complicated history, and we are finally settling down good. We don't want kids, so we want to have a cat instead to liven up our lives. After some research and preparations, we were ready to welcome one home. We searched on social media for a kitten for adoption and came across this woman. Lilo, not a real name, a retired lady in her 60s, probably, spending her free time fostering animals. She had a white kitten for adoption and we contacted her. Lilo was a very knowledgeable fosterer. She spent hours communicating with us, asking for our backgrounds and experiences before asking for a house visit to check if we were indeed ready for a cat. We let her in and she pointed out a few safety mistakes we made and made us adjust our furniture and recommended that companies install safety gates and grills. She was very patient and detailed and would offer us all the advice we asked. During the time, we prepared our home to be safer and more cat-friendly. The white kitten Lilo had fostered had been adopted. We were disappointed, but Lilo said she would keep us informed when she fostered more cats. However, she had been recommending adult and special needs cats to us, instead of a kitten we requested. She tried to push us to adopt them by saying how we could afford financially and how much they were better than kittens and scolded us when we were reluctant. Around that time, a colleague heard of me trying to get a kitten and introduced me to his friend, whose cat just had a litter. They were rag dolls and I was offered $60 to adopt one. I made my pick in the litter and brought him home after it weaned. We named him Kovu, Lion King 2, for his black eyeshadows, and he is currently vaccinated and in good health and is the best behaved kitten I've ever seen. Lilo was furious with us, however. She accused us for supporting breeders and the worst of human filth for buying instead of adopting and wasting her good faith on us. Ironically, her cat adoption fees were around the same price, $30 to $70. While we were grateful for her advice, we did tell her before that we wanted a kitten, and she had been fostering other kittens but kept pushing the adults and special needs ones to us. As a result, we got ourselves a kitten elsewhere. Am I the a-hole? Now for some comments. Super not the a-hole, and I'm really mad at this woman for checking you out for adoption of the original white kitten, then giving it to someone else and trying to push an adult and special needs cat on you. Adult and special needs cats are great, but if you want a kitten and are specific about that, then the worker needs to accommodate that. Also, I'm assuming your friend isn't a backyard breeder, mostly because if he was, he would be charging more from my experience, and therefore there's nothing wrong with getting a kitten from them. Not the a-hole. From your story, Lilo bait and switched you by not letting you have the kitten. You were ready and willing, let her do the home inspection, did the changes she wanted, and she still gave the kitten to someone else. I hate bossy animal welfare people. They try to lecture you on what animal you should get. Many people want kittens to have the joy of raising a kitten. You were ready to rescue her kitten and she gave it to someone else, then tried to badger you into taking a grown and even disabled cat. I love animals, I love cats. I hope all those she has find good homes. And I'm sure her heart is in the right place, trying to home or rescue cats. But Lilo is an a-hole. Not the a-hole, but let's be clear here. You didn't adopt a kitten, you bought one. I don't think it's inherently unethical to buy animals from breeders. It really depends on the breeder you work with. But there is a difference between that and adopting a cat who is already in the rescue system. It isn't about the cost per se, but rather about the ethics of intentionally creating more animals in need of homes when there are plenty of homeless pets in the world already. Like I said, I don't think it's inherently unethical to do so, but you're likely to ruffle some people's feathers a bit if you refer to it as adoption. Own your decisions to buy a kitten.